to Jake Jackets. Gear up to fire the cannon and hit the ice with your host, Jay Ashdown and Jake Gehringer.
And then I went into another playlist and I was there till past close because friggin' holiday Fridays, right?
Right, yeah.
Fridays before holidays, they're always nuts. We're winding down the season, bro. Already. What the hell?
Thank God.
Thank God. Yeah, this has just been the season from hell, hasn't it?
It has.
It's weird though, because like we had such optimism
We
at the
did.
start after getting Johnny and
What fools.
to a far lesser extent Goody and and signing Patty and getting all that stuff done, right?
Yeah, you sign Johnny, you extend Patty, and you think, it's not like we came into the season thinking we'd be better than last year, but we thought we would at least see some progression in some areas and maybe a similar kind of season. And yeah, lots changed.
It's just like the and I mean I hate coming back to the same excuses because it's what happens though. Injuries upon injuries
team.
upon injuries upon injuries. And then
He
everybody
is,
was
like, the thing that I worry, like I said before, but the injuries are a legit thing that have happened.
Mhm.
I just worry that sometimes we're almost trying to use the injuries to mask the fact that it's just not a good team.
The true like the youth of the team and the inexperience and all of that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
But we're getting to the end of it and we'll be fine come the summer, and here's hoping the draft odds are in our favor. But we got other things.
They got 4 games left to hopefully lock up a top 3 spot.
You're gonna have to excuse Jay today, everybody, because things happened with his Wi-Fi this morning. So
Yeah.
if he's like buggy at certain points, then you're just gonna have to give us the benefit of the doubt here. But we still gotta do our duty and we gotta give out some Keppies. Brought to you by DraftKings. This is a fun one though, because this is a golf read.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, I love it.
Masters are here. I'm not the biggest golf guy. My dad loves golf though. He loves going out and hitting the rakes. And you can hit the tee, you can hit the green with DraftKings Sportsbook. This week, new customers receive an odds boost to add plus 1,000 to add plus 1,000 to any pre-tournament wager up to $10 on any golfer.
Oh, that's awesome.
So if you're a new customer and you see a golfer at plus 1,000 odds, DraftKings boosts that to plus 2,000 for your shot at a bigger payout.
Yeah, and that's up to $10, right? So you can put $10 on that, and gosh, how much was that? Like a $200 payout if it's plus 2,000 and a $10 bet?
Something like that, yeah. And then we're also going to be featuring parlays and odds boosts all tournament long, so be sure to check out the app every day before the tournament starts to see what DraftKings has for you. So, like,
I mean, it's the best time of the year, isn't it?
I was gonna, well, because like, I know you have Masters stuff, like you have Masters.
Yeah,
merch,
I mean,
right?
I got my Masters. Yeah, I get upstairs.
Yeah. Is Tiger in this year's tournament?
Yeah, he's right now. I have to check if he made the cut or not. I know he was just like right by the line. Like I thought it was +1 yesterday, and I know he was +2. So
Okay.
obviously I stopped paying attention after I left to go to the Guardians home opener yesterday. But
Nice, right?
he did. He made the cut.
Okay.
So it's the 23rd straight time he has done that, which ties the record.
Nice, good for Tiger.
That's awesome.
He
Attaboy,
is
Tiger.
I mean, he's one of those guys, we talk about some of the newer guys, and some of the guys like Nicholson and, you think of Spieth, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Brooks
As
Koepka is one of those newer guys who
Koepka,
a lot of people like.
guys that are, their names, they're newer names. There's some classic names that are favorites, right? But I mean, it's Tiger Woods, man. Like,
Yeah, like it. Like, don't get me wrong. Love Phil Mickelson. You know, some people find Patrick Reed entertaining. He's been around for a while. But and they've both been great for a long time. Don't get me wrong. But this thing is Tiger.
it's
It's
Tiger.
Tiger, man.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm absolutely like, if I was more of someone that like followed this, I'd probably be keeping an eye on Tiger and Spieth.
Yeah. Right now, from what I know, Brooks is in the lead, and my guy John Rahm is right behind. I actually dressed up as him for Halloween last year.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, a big John Rahm guy. Love him.
What's what's that thing going on with the Saudi league too? Because isn't there like something going on? Wasn't that a while back?
Is that like the Live Tour?
The Live Tour,
Or
that's right. Yeah, Live versus PGA kind of stuff.
yeah,
Like,
so
isn't that
they
still
that's
like a
one that
Cold War kind of thing going on?
uh kind of. I mean, it's ultimately going to be won by the PGA. The Live is probably
Well,
gonna.
yeah,
It's not going to last terribly long, but I think that's going to end up getting resolved within the next year or two. To be honest with you.
maybe. I don't know. I was just curious about it since this is a golf read, so
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, Spieth, Tiger for me.
gotta love those guys.
Yeah, who are you keeping an eye on?
Oh, John Rahm. I mean, he's my
John
guy.
Rahm. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you guys can get on the action with DraftKings as well. For the Masters, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN and boost your odds during the weekend's tournament. That's code THPN only on DraftKings Sportsbook. All of our disclaimer stuff always down below in our description. So let's get into Kepi Keepers. And this is kind of funny at this point in the year now because the team's so injured still. It's basically the Cleveland Monsters at this point.
There's something so poetic about the ad read being a golf read today, considering that's what this team is.
Considering that's what they're going to be doing in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. To me, I mean, Kepi Keeper is this is one of the easiest ones we've had all season.
Go
And I
for
think
it.
it's Jet.
I'm actually not going to go with Jet.
I mean, Jet comes
I
up.
mean, yeah, we're going to talk about Jet, and it's brilliant for him getting his first start and doing well despite a loss.
Sets the record for most saves in a Blue Jackets debut for a goaltender. And it's not even just the like he looked fantastic in the game
Against his hometown team in Toronto. It's like
there's some story I was just fantastic. I mean, it was excellent on all ends because I got everything I wanted out of that game. Jet comes up. It's this beautiful, fun moment.
I loved that start the Jets text you sent me.
Yeah. He looks fantastic in the game, but they lose in regulation.
Which, yeah.
It wasn't his fault.
No, and it's for one thing, like think about where we're at, and it's the freaking Leafs. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you saw the highlights of the game, but the second goal he allowed, I kind of laughed at because I was like, that sums up the season right there. It was a 3-on-1. Did you see it?
No, I didn't get to check any highlights.
Cross crease pass like on a 3-on-1. Abruzzese fires it, gets robbed.
Oh,
Jet with I think he was his blocker. But the puck like just goes right to the stick of Alex Kerfoot. And he has a wide open.
Oh, right to Kerfoot. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it was so unfortunate because it was such a good save. It was such an unbelievable save.
I love the pick, and I knew where you were going with that just because you're our resident goalie guy. You know,
yeah,
like
he looked fantastic. I mean, I was happy for him. So I mean, we'll see what we've got here in the future with this kid. Smaller guy, but what I noticed in the game, he moves really well. He's very mobile.
I wonder if he is going to be like a long-term kind of tandem with like Terry or something.
I mean, yeah,
like,
we'll
as
have,
an
we'll have to
option.
see because obviously, like next year, it's going to be Elvis and Tarasov. Like I think But we'll see what happens in the future with this kid. I mean, the good thing for him is next year he's going to be the number one guy again with the Monsters, and I think he's going to get a lot of reps.
Oh yeah.
He'll probably be first guy called up if there's an injury, so he's going to get his chances here, and I'm excited to see what he's got because he looked pretty damn good in his first game against a really good team.
Oh yeah. Good on Jet. I'm gonna go with another first timer
Mm-hmm.
because Patty's best friend
Oh yeah,
scoring his first NHL goal in the drubbing in New Jersey. Mine's
yeah,
going to Yuna Luoto.
yeah. I just prefer not to talk about that game. That's a
I
Burlington
know, I
game.
know. But congrats to Yuna. He's 25. He finally makes the show,
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny because there was a hat pick of a Sharks player finally scoring his first NHL goal at age 30.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I can't think of
You
his
know
name.
who I'm talking about?
Chris Cuolo, I think.
Cuolo, yeah.
Yeah,
Criscolo or whatever his name is. He
yeah.
finally got his, and I mean, like 25 is still like,
Still pretty up there because
yeah.
I
So
mean I don't think Luoto was ever drafted, but that's still you know 5-6 years after your last like eligible draft year.
right.
So you've been playing pro for a while. It's taken you a long time to get to this point. So good for him. I mean, is he going to be a long-time NHL player? Probably not. But
Probably
it's a
not.
moment you'll never forget, even in a blowout loss. You scored a goal in the National Hockey League. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's the thing with this pick for me, right? Is you're in the NHL, you're in the top 1% of the 1%.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, you don't know how long you're going to be there
Yeah, I mean, I
at
think it can change
all.
at any moment.
So to score any goal in the National Hockey League, that's got to be like treasured, right?
Yeah, of course.
Geez, you're already one of the best there ever is.
Hmm.
And it took you this long to get to this point,
Yeah,
and then you finally get yours, and it's just like that's got to feel so good, right?
absolutely.
So Jet, Yuna, congrats, boys, and
JJ.
JJ, I love it. There's a lot of J's going on this show today.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Jay, Jake, Jackets, Yuna, Jet, Jack
Yeah,
Hughes. Yeah, we're not going to talk about New Jersey much. That was
they lost
you.
8-1.
Yeah, that was you going plus a bonus. I told everybody, I was like, Jay went to the last time this thing happened when it was 7-1. I was like,
Okay,
Jay
look.
was there.
Look,
Felt so bad.
the only difference this time is, when they scored a touchdown, they went for 2 rather than kicking the PAT.
Yep, exactly. And Yuna getting the only Columbus goal there. Again, congrats to Yuna for that, because that's something really special. I do want to. That's only 17 shots.
Yeah, I mean it's pathetic.
Oh, gosh, that's so rough. I'm trying to think of what even.
We
I'm
can
just
talk
trying
about the Toronto game if you want to, like a little bit. I know we talked about Jet and we covered that, but
Okay, I was just trying to see what went down with yeah, okay, so Hutch let in the vast majority of it. Okay.
he let in 5, and then Gillies let in 3.
Okay.
It was a little cathartic, I think, for Devils fans on so many levels
To
because
score on
obviously,
Gillies that much? Yeah.
yeah, scoring Gillies that much, but also just for them after not getting Johnny, um, so much of the season's been based around that for them.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It was funny though, because I remember Neil posting his stuff, and I just I replied to his story, and I was just
Yeah.
I was like, GG's, be nice, please.
So yeah, they
So that one was really tough. And I
so
mean,
yeah,
like
they lost 8-1 to New Jersey, they lost 4-2 to Toronto, they lost 7-0 to Florida, but they did
that one,
have a
oh,
weird
oof.
random win against Ottawa, who desperately needed that game.
Ottawa needed the game to stay kind of in the hunt, more or less.
They needed those 2 points, and Kirill, 21 goals on the year, won that in overtime. And so he set the record for
Yeah, rookie
most
record
goals.
for the thrill. That's right.
So good for him. I mean, hey, you got 4 games left to kind of add to that too.
Congrats to
They play
Marchie,
tonight
man.
against the
That's
Rangers.
yeah. There's still positives. That's what's nice in a lost season like this is you get to celebrate small things like that. And when records
There's
happen,
been
it's just like, you know.
there hasn't been much to celebrate this season, but Kirill Marchenko's at least been one of those things that you can
Kirill
look forward to.
Marchenko, Kent Johnson having a solid rookie year despite what's going down.
Yeah.
Standings wise, you know, Johnny's being Johnny.
Mhm.
Johnny's as
They're
advertised, which
doing
is
it on a top line that's been in flux all season because Patrick's been hurt at times, Boone's been hurt at times. He's played with so many different players.
he's played with
Uh,
like 3 different centers, 4.
yeah. Mhm.
And he just can't. It's so tough because the chemistry with him and Patty isn't quite where we wanted it to be.
I think it's come on a little bit, but yeah, you're right. It's definitely not where we thought it was going to be or hoped it was going to be. Um, so I mean, yeah, like the good thing is we'll get a chance to see where it's at next year because neither of those guys are going anywhere. But
Yeah,
the most important thing for me next year for Patrick is less about the stats and the numbers. It's just
the health, dude. Yeah,
can this guy just stay healthy, man? It's a
it's
concern.
well, the problem, like, he gets hurt in what, the first game, right?
Yeah.
He got hurt first game and he was out for a couple of weeks.
And then he came back early and then he got hurt again.
And that was a different injury, right?
Yeah, it was. So
And then he got sick more recently, and then he got hurt again. I
it's
hope
just
that I
it's
hope
just been
that
a
we're
bad
not.
season all around.
Yeah, I hope we're
You know,
not dealing with another Ryan Murray situation in terms of his health.
I mean, I
You
don't think
know,
anything would be as quite as bad as that one
not as
was. But no,
drastic
I
as
get what you
Ryan.
mean.
Yeah,
You're talking about a guy who's supposed to be a big part of your future, and this is the one thing that I think we need to appreciate about Johnny specifically over the next 6 years after this year's done is this guy is almost always going to be available, and that's the one beautiful
yes,
thing about him.
he
On top of his
is
unbelievable talent.
consistently healthy.
I
Now
mean, this
he
is the
did,
first year he's missed any games in several years, and he missed what, like 2?
and Portsy said that he was just sick
Yeah,
when he missed time more
in
recently in
the
Jersey.
Devils game, which just allowed for more firepower for New Jersey fans.
Yeah.
Since we're on the topic of New Jersey, and I think we're kind of done with the recaps for the Blue Jackets, should we just get into that news?
I'm gonna have to rearrange some stuff, but yeah. So let's talk about Jack's little brother.
Yeah. So Luke Hughes finally signed his ELC after Michigan lost to Quinnipiac.
Your standard 3-year entry level.
So this is the one thing that I think is really cool about this for the Devils is him and Nemec are, aligned with their contracts.
Oh, that's right. They're gonna start like right at the same time. Oh,
So obviously since he just signed it now, 1 year of his ELC will be burned. So starting next season, you'll have 2 years of his ELC and 2 years of Nemec's ELC. So it's pretty cool. Like those are 2 guys who are obviously going to be a huge part of the Devils moving forward. I fully anticipate the Devils are going to be moving off of Damon Severson this summer. They're just going to let him walk.
yeah.
So Nemec can take over there. And think about this, man. If you're the Devils, you get this guy 2nd overall, and he's going to be starting on the 3rd pair next
Right.
season because you've got Dougie and John Marino. Like that puts him in such a good
Right.
spot. And I think they're probably going to let Ryan Graves walk as well
They could, and
because
that lets Luke
Luke
take
can
that
slide into
spot.
that
Yeah.
spot. And that just they're so strong on defense right now.
They're
They really
extremely
are.
strong. And it's just like, because you just think about the Devils as a whole. Like, there's so much to love about individual players, but you don't think about the individual players as much, except for maybe like Jack and Nico,
Mm-hmm.
because they're such a good cohesive unit.
Yeah. I mean, think about some of the guys who stepped up and had fantastic season for them that we don't really talk about. Severson's been great for them this year. Ryan
Severson's
Graves been
been
pretty good for them.
awesome.
And those are two guys who are probably going to leave because they have replacements ready for them. But other guys, Eric Hall is actually.
Hall has been great. Tatar had a great bounce back.
Tatar
This
has
year.
had a fantastic season. Like Halla couldn't score for the first half of the season. He could not buy a goal. The last few weeks, man, he's been on fire. He's been big for them. And that's going to be huge for them going into the playoffs if he can continue that. Tatar's been great all season long. He's going to get a good deal.
Vanacek in net, bro.
Vanacek's been fantastic. Akira Schmid as the almost backup because Mackenzie Blackwood was supposed to be the backup, but he's had some injuries. Blackwood's played well when he's been called upon. They've had 3 good goalies this year.
Can we talk about Schmid for a second? Because I love, like, he makes me laugh.
Is this his name?
No, because of the fact that it's totally night and day from last year when they went through 7 freaking dudes in net.
I mean, it's kind of the shit that we've had to deal with this year.
And I felt so bad. I felt so bad for Schmid during that whole time because he got the worst of it. It was his bad.
This terrible.
Poor guy. And now he's just like, hey.
I mean, think about where the Devils are at, though. I mean, they can realistically let Mackenzie Blackwood walk as well. Jonathan Bernier will also be off the books. You've got Vitek Vanacek,
if Schmid
Akira
keeps
Schmid,
this up, yeah.
Nico Dawes.
Oh yeah, there's Dawes too. Yep.
Like they're fine in that. so they're set on D. Mm-hmm. They're set in net, short term and long term.
Yeah.
And then you look at the forward group.
It's Nico and Jack and their band of merry men, bro.
Dawson Mercer's been fantastic.
Dawson scoring his first career hat trick the other day.
Timo Meyer. They added Timo Meyer.
Yep.
Kinda
they got
good at hockey.
It was funny because I saw him score like the 6th goal or whatever, and I was just like, "Oh, hi, Timo."
Have you seen the Devils' record without Nate Bastian in the lineup?
Without Bastian?
It's terrible. And their record with Bastian is phenomenal. I want to say it's like 32-8-4 with him in the lineup or something like that.
Well,
it's like ridiculous.
Because didn't Bastian get picked up by the Kraken at some point? Off like waivers
last
or something?
year, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
And then he went back, and it's
that's a good. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
How did we go this long without mentioning fucking Jesper Bratt?
Yeah, he's been fantastic too.
Yeah, I love me some Jesper Bratt. It's just
so Bastian was selected in the expansion draft.
Oh, he was their pick. Okay.
And then he was put on waivers and he went back to the Devils and he's become such a big part of the team. I forgot about that. I didn't even remember that.
That's awesome.
That's kind of funny.
That's really cool.
Yeah, he's been super big for them all season long, and he's been really good in the bottom 6.
Miles Wood too.
Miles Wood's been terrible this year.
I mean,
he's physical.
I mean, you gotta have some of those guys, right? Like bad numbers,
pretty good at times this year.
Jesper's got himself some groove going.
Yeah, one guy I think that's going to become up big in the playoffs who's not had a great season so far, Andre Palat.
Andre is going to light it up in the playoffs, and you know that.
I think so.
We all know that because he's Andre Palat. Come on.
This is what he's done his entire career.
Yeah.
The Devils, man. I mean, that's That's a team that can come out of the East.
Our boy Yegor Sharangovich.
Yeah.
There's more than one Jaeger bomb that we like talking about,
Yeah,
huh?
we love our Jaegers.
That's right.
I don't know, man. I'm looking at the Devils. They look really good, man.
No,
do.
they look great, and I'm so excited. I really hope that we get a Rangers Devils first round.
It's gonna happen. It's
We-
almost locked in.
We better get a Battle of the Hudson River in the first round because that
Here's
is
the
going to
thing
be a
that
hell
sucks
of a
is
series.
like I hate the concept of like I hate the playoff format. I've been very open
Yeah.
about that because
Yeah.
I just don't think it's fair. At the same time, it gives us this matchup right off the
Yeah.
bat. So like it's tough because like it's not a fair format. It's a dumb format. But it does give us some really good matchups.
It gives us really fun divisional matchups. They try to make it more for the rivalries.
Like the thing that I like about it is that it gives us this matchup. The thing that I hate about it is one of the Devils or the Rangers will be out in the first round.
Yes, exactly.
Which is just absurd.
And they're both phenomenal teams that deserve going on a run.
They're both easily top 4 teams in the East.
Yeah. And it's a night and day switch for the Devils too, because like I saw this stat, they have like a 47-point improvement from last year.
Yeah, it's crazy. And there's still time left.
Yeah.
There's still games to go. It's
everybody still has about 4, like the Avalanche
3, 4, 5 games left.
Avalanche have 5, some have 3, most have 4.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it's wild, man. And speaking of craziness, just because no, I wanted to talk about today specifically really quick because I tied those in together. But congrats to Luke on his ELC. This is going to be really fun to watch. And today, speaking of fun to watch, we have 32 teams in the NHL now.
Yes.
Right? So that makes for a fun thing that yesterday we had no games.
Yeah.
We had no games on a Friday.
Yeah.
Which is very strange, right?
Well, it was Good Friday, so I think that's one of the reasons they do it.
That's part of it, yes. But they also wanted to prepare for today, which is the first time that we're going to have everybody playing.
Oh.
There's 16 games today.
See, this is what I hate about the NHL, man. Like, you got freaking 16 games today, and then you only have 2 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, I know tomorrow's Easter, but
yeah.
You're look at the games tomorrow. Bruins, Flyers, and Avs, Ducks.
Yeah.
Who the hell is scheduling this?
Colin Campbell. I don't know. I just threw his name out there because we love giving him shit too. Right?
Yeah.
Like there's 3 guys like at the top of the league that everybody loves giving their digs to. Obviously Gary Bettman.
Yes.
Bill Daly gets a lot of that flack, and Colin Campbell gets so much of that flack.
Yep.
And I mean, it's well deserved. Come on.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, that's like, but we have a 16 game schedule today, and it's nuts.
We got some important games today as a result of that. Should we just get into the playoff race? I think the playoff race is interesting.
The playoff race is really fun because we have 13 clinches right now. So there's 3 spots.
We've got some teams that are like right on the bubble.
We have 3 spots up for grabs. They're all wild cards right now. Let's talk about the one in the West real quick. Mm-hmm. Seattle's clinched the first wild card already.
Yes. So in their second season, they're finally making the playoffs. Finally.
Yeah.
Already making the playoffs.
That's like, I mean, Vegas did better, but
Seattle, man, I'm surprised. Like, I
Yeah,
didn't think they'd
that's
do it
such
this
a really
quickly.
great turnaround, though.
It is.
Ron Francis did a really good job making the improvements he made, and they're buying in.
So we got one spot up for grab in the West, but 3 teams are vying for it right now. That's Winnipeg, who's currently in the best spot for it. They have 89 points in 78 games. The Flames have 89 points in 79 games, and the Predators have 88 points in 78 games. Predators remaining schedule. They play at Winnipeg, at Calgary, then
Ooh, yep.
Minnesota. And so this is it right here, man.
This is the
If
stretch
the
for
Predators
Nashville.
can go
Yeah.
2-0, they're probably going to get that spot.
Yeah, if they can beat the two that are ahead of them, they can steal that like no problem.
But this is a great opportunity for both Calgary and Winnipeg just to kind of knock them out of that spot, out of
Right.
contention, just make this a race between themselves. So that's interesting. Do you have any prediction on who's going to take that spot?
Well, for Calgary, it's weird because they've had such a strange downturn season.
Yeah,
We've
they
been
have.
talking about so many of the downs that you look at this now and you're like, wait a second, right?
Do you know what's driving me nuts about this race?
Hmm.
Is just the point system and
The
how it
point,
makes
yeah.
this a thing. Because
No,
look
you
at
look
the records.
43.
Winnipeg is 43, 32, and 3, and
Yeah.
Calgary is 37,
37,
27,
27, and 15.
15.
It's like, what are we doing? Look at the points percentages, a 571 and a 563.
I won't do.
And then Nashville's right behind Calgary with a
I have to
564.
figure out how many games they've won in overtime to do the math on it, but Winnipeg would have so many more points than Calgary if they did the 3-point system.
Yeah, it would be much more drastic. But the thing, it's such a weird race because Winnipeg has been slipping.
Dude, Winnipeg and Calgary both have been slipping like crazy lately.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I want Nashville to get this spot, because I didn't think that Nashville was ever going to be in a position to get that spot.
Mm-hmm.
And they're right there because these two teams have been battling each other for who can have the worst record but still make the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, Daryl Sutter hockey can only do you so much until you get there, but you got to get there first.
The thing for Nashville that sucks is their last 4 games are brutal. You're facing Winnipeg and Calgary on the road, who both need that game. And then after that, your 2 home games are Minnesota and Colorado.
Ooh, that's tough.
That's brutal. That is
really
not
tough.
an easy way to end the season. Calgary, who do they got? They have 3 games. They have at Vancouver. And here's the thing, Vancouver's not good, but that's a team that
they're feisty
playing on the road.
Yeah.
They're gonna want to knock you out of that spot. They don't want to help you out.
They want to play spoiler big time.
Then they have Nashville at home, and then their last game is at home against San Jose. They should be able to beat San Jose. San Jose badly needs to lose that game.
Yes, they do. And what about the Peg? What about the egg?
So they have 2 home games: Nashville, then San Jose, same position. Okay. And then similar to Nashville, on the road they've got Minnesota and Colorado.
Oh boy.
So there's not an easy path for any of these 3 teams to get this spot. They're all going to have to work for it.
No, okay. So here's what I think is going to happen. My brain says Winnipeg. My brain says Winnipeg because Rick Bowness has done such a great job with this team.
Mm-hmm.
Like Josh Morrissey is a total Norris candidate, even though it's, EK's award this year by far.
Yeah, Josh Morrissey.
And he's got Wheeler and Scheifele playing defense. What?
Yeah.
He's got them back checking.
They're actually trying a little bit on defense.
They're back checking.
They're still not good at it, but they're trying a little bit.
They're back checking. What is this?
Calgary's falling apart. I don't think anybody wants to see the Flames in the playoffs because of how they played. Personally, I'd like to see Nashville.
Calgary's a mess, so I don't know. If they finish just outside, that's just indicative of how that year's gone, right? So it's just par for the course. And my heart says Nashville because I just love the Predators. Like, they have guys that we all like, that both of us love. 2 former Blue Jackets and, quite a few others that we just adore.
You say Saros in that, man. I mean,
You say Soros
this is the
is
thing. Like, I'd like to see either Winnipeg or Nashville in the playoffs, just because
yeah,
they're such a tough out because of their goaltending.
right.
Hellebuck or Saros in the playoffs, like that's brutal to go against.
That's such a tough, yeah. And I mean, you have really good defensive systems in Nashville, like all the time.
And Roman Yossi. It'd be interesting if they made the playoffs, especially after selling at the deadline.
After
They
selling off
traded away Ekholm.
They traded Ekholm. They traded Tanner Jeannot for an entire draft class and Calfoot.
Yeah.
I forgot Calfoot was there, and then I saw him score once, and I was like, "Oh yeah!"
And they've got some injuries on the roster right now too. Matt Duchene's out. Philip Forsberg is
Dutchy's out. Oh, that's right. Forsberg is out. That's
Ryan Johansson's out.
both of our former Blue Jackets are out, huh? That sucks, man.
Alexander Carrier's out.
Oh, that's a tough one.
They've lost some they're doing this with a pretty bare roster too.
Well, you got to think about some of the really young guys that they've had in there, like Parsonen. I think
yeah, he's out too.
Is Parsonen out?
Yeah, that's what Yahoo's saying right now. Who do you think is their number one center right now?
Their number one,
like with all these injuries.
Oh God, I don't know.
It's Cody Glass.
It is Cody Glass. That's right. He scored the overtime winner against Vegas.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That's so awesome.
I mean, this is just crazy what they're doing. So I'd love to see Nashville get in, man.
That's a feel-good story
with all that
Cody
adversity
Glass
that's putting it together at the right time and
getting hot right when they need to. I mean, that's shades of 2019 Columbus, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then in the East, we've got 2 spots open and technically 4 teams vying for it, but one of them's a little out of it. Like they're gonna have to go like 5-0 if they're gonna have a shot. So yeah. Florida and the Islanders are in the 1 and 2 spot with 79 games played. They have 89 points.
Yes, and they're tied except for record because Florida has one more win.
So Florida is ahead of the Islanders in that. So like Florida's the one wild card, and New York is the 2 wild card as a result of that. Pittsburgh is on the outside looking in. They're 1 point behind the Islanders. They've played the same amount of games. And then Buffalo, amazing, is still technically in this. 83 points in 77 games. They have 5 games left on the season. So they've got Carolina, Rangers, Devils, Sens, and then us. So not an easy path for them. But if they do well, maybe they could make it harder on some of these teams.
Well, that's funny for Buffalo because the teams that we know are out of it, like us, like in Ottawa, they still have a good compete level.
Yes.
Right? They always play hard no matter what's going on.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you're looking at like Buffalo, like if they were to win their next 2 games, they would be at 79 games and they'd only be 1 point behind the Penguins. So like they're not necessarily out of it. It'd be really hard, but
yeah,
still technically in there. But it's really ultimately, in my opinion, going to come down to who's going to get that second spot. I think the Panthers are going to be fine. I think they're going to make it. Last 3 games they play at Washington, then they've got Toronto and Carolina.
They have Washington today, and I think they can do that.
The Islanders have the easiest path. They've got Philadelphia, Washington, and Montreal. And then the Penguins also have a pretty easy path. They got Detroit, Chicago, and us.
Can we talk about how Alex Lyon is having like his best season ever at age 30?
Oh yeah, dude, he's been phenomenal.
He's been on a huge roll. Ironic considering he's a Panther. I know.
914 save percentage, 295 goals against average, 8-3. Yeah, I mean he's come up big for them, and they've needed him. Bobrovsky's not had a good year this season.
Spencer's been up and down
Well, Spencer's been out
and
because
out.
of the
Yeah.
whole. So, they've needed someone to step up. They've had Alex Lyon to do it. Who knows? Honestly, like looking at this, I think we're probably going to end up with the Islanders and the Penguins both making the playoffs, and the Panthers might fall out.
You think so?
Now that I'm looking at the games they have to play,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Toronto and Carolina to end the year for the Panthers might be rough.
Ooh,
But
yeah.
then again, Toronto might be sitting some players.
Yeah, Toronto is going to be sitting some players, especially against their game against Tampa Bay, because Tampa's got so many injuries going on right now.
That's a team that just wants to get into the playoffs healthy. I think they've got first round home ice locked up, right?
The Leafs do.
Yes. Okay.
The Leafs
that's what I thought.
that. Yeah, the Leafs just clinched that.
So they're in a perfect spot.
They'll be fine.
They don't need those last few games.
Tampa has like 6 different guys out that are all like good playoff guys.
Sergachev, no.
Sergachev, Jano, Chernak is out.
Maroon.
Maroon is out, yeah. It's like 5 different guys.
They had Hayden Fleury play left wing on the fourth line the other day.
Good for Hayden.
Way to get in the lineup. I mean, any way you can do it.
Yeah, exactly, right? But yeah, so in terms of this wild card, I think Florida keeps that first one.
Okay.
Just on the backs of Alex Lyon and Matt Tkachuk.
What a year he's had.
Matt Tkachuk has had a hell of a year, and I love that for him. Just like he is one of the more likable rats in this league.
We talked about last year and what a phenomenal year he had. We were like, man, you're probably not going to repeat that, but he could be like I think we said he could be like a mid-80s, mid 90s kind of point score. No, he followed up a 104 point season with 105 points with still games left.
With games left, exactly.
He got better.
He got so much better
after leaving the Flames. And leaving behind, he wasn't going to play on a line with Johnny Gaudreau.
Johnny and Elias Lindholm.
Yeah, without playing with those guys.
And he's playing with Alex Barkov, and who's normally on that other wing? Like,
Good question.
Is it Verhaeghe? Is it Lundell?
I think Verhaeghe can play wing too, but they have him listed here as a center, so I have no idea.
Verhaeghe
might be Reinhardt.
Might be Sam, yeah. Or Bennett. It might be either Sam.
Yeah, might be a Sam.
That's fun. So I think Florida keeps that, and then I think the second one.
I hope the Penguins make it.
I kind of want to see the Penguins make it.
I know as Blue Jackets fans, it's going to sound crazy to some people.
Yeah, but I want to see them do it.
The playoffs don't feel normal without the Penguins in them.
I want to see them do it. I want to see, Sid, Gino, and Chris, who, by the way, also hit 1,000 games recently. Congrats to Chris Letang.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to tell me the playoffs feel normal without those guys in them? Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. And
be real.
It's like...
Also, I'm just going to say it. I would much rather watch the Penguins in the playoffs than the Islanders.
Yes,
I would much rather watch the Panthers in the playoffs than the Islanders.
Yes. It's just like the Islanders play the style that just doesn't it works. It works.
It works. It just puts you to sleep.
It's just bleh.
Even with Lane Lampard in there now, they're still boring. They're still boring.
So blah. I don't. Yeah. I want to see.
They're the least legit of the 3 teams in terms of roster makeup.
Yes.
I believe Ilya Sorokin is number 1 in the NHL in goals saved above expected. He's been carrying them all season long. And sure, would it be fun to see him in the playoffs potentially steal a series? He has the potential to do that, but I just, oh, God.
And we know Jari has his struggles in there.
Yeah, yeah, he does, but I don't know, man. I don't want to take any chances to see Sid and Gino in the
No.
playoffs for granted.
No, exactly. This could be one of their last rides, dude.
Yeah.
They've got to make it, especially because the Capitals missed for the first time in almost
It's
10
been a
years.
long time. Yeah.
2014.
Yeah.
So it's like we won't get to see Ovi this playoff.
Yeah, I think for them, like, I think that they did the deadline right. You know, they punted on this season a little bit so they can have a little bit more success next season. I think they're going to be fine next season, but
Yeah.
the point is we're getting to the end of this ride for guys like Ovi and Gino and Sid, and I'm, as a fan, in the same division as those guys, I'm choosing to enjoy them rather than despise them the way that so many people do, because we only get them for so long.
We're going to put the rivalry aside to recognize the greatness that these guys are.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
it's a sport. It's supposed to be fun.
I'm really rooting. I'm rooting for the Penguins to make it.
Yeah. Hopefully Barzal and his band of merry men have their time.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they
Like,
have some fun on the golf course this season with the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, but I mean, I hope some point soon they do end up like going on another run and doing that, because the Isles team, I like some of their players enough to where that'd be kind of fun.
I don't. I'm isled out.
All right, we're gonna end with.
I don't need to see it again. I've seen it enough.
Yeah, it's fair. The new age trap is kind of like that.
Yeah,
That's what they play, is a modified trap, right?
yeah,
It's like,
a little bit.
we're gonna end with some college puck.
Yeah.
Congrats to the Gophers.
Yeah, so Minnesota beat the living shit out of Canisius in the first
Yeah,
game.
feel
This is a
bad
rough
for you
one.
guys. That was what, like a 9
But hey, I mean, you know, we lost the national champion potentially.
potentially.
So this is interesting. You know, 14 NHL draft picks on Minnesota. They're loaded. They're fantastic. They got the
That whole
Middlestat
roster.
brothers. They've got Logan Cooley. They've got Matthew Nyes, Jimmy
Yep.
Snuggerud. A lot of really good NHL talent on that team. They're just littered with it. And then on Quinnipiac, not as much NHL talent, but a total unit. Some really good players, really good goaltender in net and Perretz.
Beating out such a strong team in Michigan. They
beat out the strongest team Ohio State's had in a few years too. This is a really good Quinnipiac team, and this is a team, this program, their third time making it to the national championship game. They're looking for their first title. And last time that they were there,
they won
it was in Tampa.
Oh, it was in Tampa. Oh, that's fun.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a really good game. But I do think, if I had to make a prediction, I do think it's going to be the Gophers who are golden tonight.
The friggin' Quinnipiac beat the friggin' Hobie Baker winner, bro. Fantilli took home the Hobie.
5-2. And they really shut him down. So it's tough, like, because it'd be cool to see, you know, the Goliath with all the NHL talent and such a great program, such a proud program like Minnesota. It'd be cool to see that. But at the same time, like, Quinnipiac winning their first title would be so cool too. So
yeah,
I'm just excited to watch a game of hockey. I don't really have rooting interest in it. And we'll see what happens on that front.
I have a slight rooting interest because some of my friends are, you know, around the Minnesota area, and like I would probably cheer on the Gophers for people like Grace, and yeah.
Root on the Gophers so Canisius can say, hey,
at least we lost to the national champs.
We were close with the national champions for 2 periods. We were only down a goal after 2. Forget what the final score said. In my mind, hockey is played in 40-minute increments.
It is in Toronto as well.
It is in Columbus.
It's played in 20 in Columbus, bro.
It's
Come on.
played in 5.
It's played in 5. Oh my god, man. I missed you because I know like
Oh, it's been forever, man. But
well, it's funny because like just my new schedule, I'm still getting used to it, and you had times where you had
Yeah.
to be out, and it's just like it's a mess right now. But hopefully soon enough we can get some bracket challenge stuff going. We're gonna talk about Meteor 20 because that just dropped. We're gonna talk about that next show. Hopefully you get a chance to
course.
listen by then, because oh my god, this thing is jam packed with shit.
yeah, gonna be a good time, man.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have fun next show. So we will see y'all then. Love ya.
Jake Jackets, a podcast for fifth liners and all puckheads around. Follow the guys on Twitter at Snake Gehringer, GARRINGER, and at by J Ashdown. And subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen. March on.